Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Man, this crowd is enormous. Are you guys all here to see me? Yeah. Right answer, but wrong answer, but I appreciate the answer. I hope that everybody is having a great time at Scaradise. Not gonna point him out, but I hope that this guy's having a great time at Scaradise. Just look at where my hand is and just cheer. All right. He needed that, and I wanted him to have that. All right, so I'm looking really forward to this panel. I can tell that there's so many out there because it's not just standing room only, it is insanity out here. If you have any open chairs in your row, let's kind of squeeze in from the outside just so that everybody else can have a chance to sit. If you do, let's do that. All right, so would you guys like to get this panel started? I said, would you guys like to get this panel started? All right, let's bring them on out. Courtney Eaton, Jasmin Savoy Brown, Sophie Nelisse, Sarah Desjardins, and the one and only Christina Ricci from Yellowjackets! All right. Also, Jasmine's brought a special guest with her. Jasmine, you want to introduce your special guest? Stella. All right, so this show centers around teenage girls on a soccer team. 4 of the 5 of you get to be, or actually 3 of the 5 on the stage are going to be teenage girls on that soccer team. How do you guys put yourself back in that role of being in high school, being on the team and all that? How do you get yourself back into that role?
Very naturally in a cast with so many girls. We're like family, truly. We've gotten so close. We've known each other now for 6 years. So, we don't do too much acting, to be honest.
And when we started the show, I was still in school. Like, I remember...
You were in high school?
What?
You were in high school?
Not high school, but I was in, like, college.
Oh.
I graduated college shooting the first season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Such a good friend.
So what about you? How did you get yourself back into high school mode when you started with that first season?
I mean, we had like soccer rehearsals, which was really fun and got me back into I played a lot of school sports when I was younger. So that kind of threw us back in of the competitiveness and yeah.
So I'm gonna go back down there to you, Jasmine. Level with us. Did your character mean to break her leg in that episode? Did you mean to do that?
I want to know what you guys think. Raise your hand if you think she meant to break her leg. That's less than half. Okay. Me as Thaisa, no, I don't think it was on purpose. Me as Jasmine, I think that it was on purpose.
Wait, but maybe it was other Thaisa. There's 2 of you.
That's interesting. I haven't actually considered that.
Thaisa coming out so early.
Right, she was always there.
So Christina, you and Sammy both really get to bring the crazy to the show, in a show that's really crazy. Did you guys have any kind of friendly competition to see which one of you guys could bring a little bit more crazy to the Misty character?
No, we've never competed in that way.
I know, I want to hold it, right?
I'm gonna hold it. No, I think, we had conversations at the beginning about the character and sort of what she was being told to do and what I was being told to do. But I don't know. I don't think Misty's that crazy. And I'm not sure what Samantha thinks. I just feel like she's playing, they went through this thing. Is it me? Am I doing reverb because I'm holding it? No? Okay. I just feel like they went through this thing. The rules are changed forever for them. And for older Misty, it's sort of she's still playing by these rules because she's been exposed to something that's so outside of the realm of reality that to play by the rules of society doesn't really make a lot of sense anymore.
So for those of you up here that have got a actress that is playing the younger version and the older version, and Christina touched on it a little bit, but I feel like it's probably a little different for character. How much interaction did you have with your younger/older self in creating, crafting, making sure that the way you moved or talked was similar? Did you guys have those kind of interactions with your younger or older self?
Mine was really different because I didn't find out I had an older until the second season. So I kind of had a meeting with Simone, who's incredible, and I felt incredibly lucky to share Lottie with her. But yeah, we kind of just had a dinner and that was it, because we both realized that we shared the same vibe and understood Lottie. So it wasn't too hard.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty, in Melanie and I, we kind of just, me now, right? Yeah, we kind of, and chat. And we realized that we both shared the same things in common with Shauna, and we saw her in the same light. And I think we're both pretty intuitive actresses, and we don't like to be held down to anything too specific going into our process. Because I know that you and Sammy chatted about like maybe like the glasses being propped up, and
No, we never discussed
No.
that. We never discussed anything physical
well,
at all. We just happened to do it the same way. But I think because we were child actresses. And as a child actress, you're taught never to obscure your face or never to disturb your makeup. So the easiest way to adjust your glasses without doing any harm is like one little finger.
Smart.
I think that's why she and I do it the same way. But we never talked about it.
That's so
It just happened. But it makes sense to me because the reason I do it that way is because I was taught to never touch my face.
Yeah, I think that kind of the common thread here, because I agree, Tanya and I did speak about how to eat dirt the same, but that's pretty much it. And I think that the common thread is that like it all goes back to casting. Casting did such an impeccable job. Like, yes, choosing people that look alike, but I think it more had to do with essence. All of us share similar essence to our counterpart in a way that like is kind of crazy, that we do just have similar instincts. Like there are things you'll see each of us do that the other one does that we didn't discuss. And I think that's because casting really captured some magic.
So Sarah, you're on a show that is primarily about teenage girls and the aftermath of what's going on, but you get to be the only real teenager that's not around the teenagers.
I know.
So how has it been for you being around the other teenagers, and how have they brought you into the Yellowjackets fold?
Oh my God, you guys. Honestly, when I joined the cast, I think, Jasmin, I think it was you reached out to me over Zoom in our first table read right away and put me in the group chat. Everyone welcomed me right away, but honestly, you guys, I'm like an introverted grandma. So at the beginning, everyone was inviting me to everything and being wonderful, and I was like, I have social anxiety. So, but everyone is so wonderful, and I love that I get to hang out with you guys more and like do this kinds of things because everyone's so great. But also, I feel, I hope there's going to be some weird dream sequence way that I get to act with everyone. But I'm also so grateful to work with all these immensely talented adults. And I love that I got the chance to work with Christina more this past season. It was so fun. I love her little sleepover.
Oh yeah, our sleepover, our animal masks.
Yes.
So Sarah, you're the only one that wasn't directly traumatized by the incident, but
Not directly.
Not directly, but when you get into season 3, you really show that you've been affected and you know how to bring it yourself. How was it for you being able to be like turned and become kind of like, I don't want to say a villain because you're not a villain, but you're like, I'm not going to put up with this and I'm going to be kind of in control of some of this crazy myself.
Killing Lottie, you are the villain. Killing Lottie, you are the villain.
Whatever, Lottie. Says you. Yeah, oh my gosh, I have so many things to say about that. I mean, I've really been grateful to get to explore all these different sides of Callie, honestly, like how she's developed more and become more complex as we've learned more things and Callie's learned more things. And I think that, like, for me personally as Sarah, like, I'm so different from Callie, but where I really relate to her is, like, her most vulnerable self and, like, wanting to feel seen and the longing. And I think in season 1 and, like, as the show went on, when we initially see her, we feel like on the surface she could seem like a bratty, stereotypical teenager, but I really loved, like, delving into, like, really understanding why she is that way, witnessing her dynamic with Shauna, kind of getting to see more of the elements of which, like, Shauna is withholding her love and how that affects her. Yeah, does that answer your question?
That sounds like it answers it to me. So Christina, you were a part of a bunch of franchises that are represented at Scaradise this weekend. There's other actors from Casper, actors from Wednesday. What makes Yellowjackets have a special place in your heart, or does it have a special place in your heart? But I know it does. But what makes Yellowjackets have a special place in your heart amongst all these huge franchises that you've been able to be blessed with?
Well, I think it's special to me because, you know, this is something I'm doing currently as an adult, and a lot of these other things were things that I was doing as a child. And, you know, as much as I would love to say there was more meaning for me when I was a child as an actor, I really was just like having fun on set and excited to not be home. So for me, like, I developed as an actor as an adult, and it's, you know, the work I do as an adult is very special because there's just so much more intention and thought put into it.
So Sophie, we're gonna go, and if you haven't watched the show, it's always, hey, there will be spoilers. You know, if you're at this panel, we're gonna talk about stuff that happens, okay? I think you know where I'm gonna go. Season 2, episode 7, which is your stillborn scene, your pregnancy situation. As a viewer, the way that that was crafted as a viewer was probably one of the most brutal, emotional scenes where you think that things are going a certain way and then you find out that the baby died, that all this stuff was happening in your head. How did you prepare for that? And the rest of you on the cast, how did you prepare? Because that was a very, very emotional scene. There was a lot of stuff that you guys had to pull off to make it believable for someone like myself to watch and go, holy crap, that was just a dream sequence? The baby died? Oh crap. How did you guys pull that off?
I mean, I was very lucky to work with Thank you. Liz Garbus, our director on that episode, was wonderful, and she, first of all, gave me a lot of links and other TV shows to go watch. There are scenes in *Handmaid's Tale* that I've watched because I had never gone through birthing a child before. So, not here to say. And just talking to, like, a lot of women in my life that have undergone, whether it be a great pregnancy or a very horrific pregnancy, I think it was very important for all of us on set to pay a lot of respect and to honor these stories. And it was such a very tricky subject matter because it's still very sensitive to a lot of people. I would say that what helped me the most was all the other girls, and I know it sounds like really cliche, but truly, I don't think I could have gone through this episode without them. They were my rock, they were my force. Like, just, I remember, because of the way we were shooting it, everyone was kind of circled around me, and they were just so present and so there and so consistent with me. And it was like really long days, very emotional days, but holding eye contact with every single one of them, I could face someone and they were just feeding me so much to play off of, and I think that's what really helped me get through these days.
I wanna brag on Sophie for a second, because not a lot of people know that we had to shoot that scene twice because some of the film got destroyed, and so she had to do the most incredible, breathtaking, difficult work 2 times, and both times she was brilliant, and I think she should have been nominated for a damn Emmy.
All right, so I'm gonna ask everybody up here, you can say it as an actor or as a fan, 2 questions. 1, was the baby stillborn or did they actually eat the baby? What do you think?
Twisted mind.
That's you guys kind of know the
I've
way.
never heard that theory.
No one ate a baby.
I've never heard that theory.
No one ate.
No one ate
It was actually just a stillborn baby.
That's
Yes,
that
yeah.
doesn't mean there's not theories out there. So to everybody out there online on Reddit.
So I just want to say, I feel like there are limits. And I don't think anybody would be comfortable being on a show where we ate a baby.
Yeah, no, I think we would have all like.
I think everyone
spoken
would
to
have
the
been like,
writers
that's
for
a little much and we're not comfortable and thanks very much.
Well, good. So now to everybody on Reddit that has that theory, your question has been answered at Scaradise, so stop with that. Okay, the next one is, did Coach actually set the cabin on fire or not? He says he didn't. What do you guys think?
I don't think he did. I think it was one of the girls. I think it's too easy for. I have my thoughts, but I don't want to say who.
Wait, why? I want to know. Everybody wants to know.
Just so you know, none of us actually know anything for real. So like us saying things, we can't get in trouble because they're
Well,
just like theories.
This is just your personal opinions, just theories.
Courtney, tell us. Tell us.
I want to know.
No. No, but I definitely don't think it was Coach. It's too easy.
I like that theory as well. I think it's more complex than that.
I think it's you, Callie.
Oh yeah, somehow it was me. Surprise. Season 4, perhaps.
This has become a time travel show. All right, so Steph is over here. I see Steph's taking a couple pictures, but Steph is gonna pop her way back out here. So Steph, who's dressed like me, but is literally like 1/3 my size, she's gonna come out here and she is going to ask some questions. So here's what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna put your hands up, keep your hands up. It doesn't mean that she's gonna pick favorites or anything like that, but when you've got people this size of a crowd, if we just had an open mic, this line would be to the door and we're never gonna get off the panel stage and we have a certain time constraint. So Steph is gonna come out, so raise your hands and we're gonna take so we're gonna take a couple of questions again. If she doesn't pick you, it's not because she doesn't like your cosplay or anything like that. It's just gonna be a bunch of random people. So where are you at, Steph? I can't even see you from up here. Oh, she's trying to get through the crowd? Okay, where are you at? Let's see. Oh, here she comes. Okay, so Steph, who are you going to first?
Hi, I'm Bella, and my question for all of you is what memory from either behind the scenes or the show has stuck with you the most to this day?
Wait, which one do you mean that we're allowed to share?
I mean, eating Jackie was it was the weirdest one. I just remember doing that scene and then looking up to, you were going full on. You were eating it out of the head.
Yeah.
And you chose that position
You know
as well.
why? I wanted some damn screen time. And I thought, if I do something crazy, I'll make it on screen.
Every time that the camera was like not on my face, I would just spit everything out. And then I would turn to Jasmine and she was just not stopping.
People were vomiting on set. Like, it was nasty.
All right, good stuff. Steph, who you got next up?
So, question for Jasmin and Sophie. In season 3, we see Ty and Shauna's dynamic change, where even though Ty is supporting Shauna, she's holding her back at certain points. So how do you think their friendship is evolving, especially too with Ty seeing that Shauna is in a relationship with Melissa now?
That's an interesting question.
You're just jealous.
Of who and what and why? I got Van, okay? I don't need you.
We were sad this season though. We were like, where are all our little moments? We enjoyed playing together.
Yeah, I really miss working with you more. Like, we have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, we're very unprofessional together. The directors don't love us as much. No, but I miss us having each other's backs. I think it's still there, and I think we still have that bond.
Yeah, but like the why. I don't know, I think that, well, I'll speak for myself. In high school, some of my female friendship dynamics would just change, and I didn't necessarily know why. You know, friendship can be complicated, and sometimes there's unspoken things, or like, what's going on with her? I'm afraid to ask because I don't want to get hurt. It might be some of that very natural coming of age shit that just happens to be taking place in a really traumatic setting where we're eating people.
Yeah, I also feel like sometimes there's so much you can do to help someone, and you kind of have to let them hit rock bottom on their own to actually learn from their mistakes. And I feel like that's maybe what you're letting Shauna do.
Yeah. But I think that Ty is like, girl, come to me because I can answer some of your queer questions. I will be your mentor.
All right, good stuff. Steph, what's the next question we got out there?
Hi, this is a question for Courtney. I was wondering, towards the end of season 3, we see this very vulnerable moment with Lottie. How do you go about that, knowing that when they get rescued, she basically shuts down, like going about that change from so emotional to nothing?
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting when we see them get rescued, if and when. I mean, well, we know if they do, but yeah, it'll be interesting for Lottie. I think she has found herself out there, and going back home is dangerous in its own way of like her family and not being seen and not feeling heard. And I mean, we see an example of it when she gets back and she gets put in a psych ward. So home is not necessarily safe for her, and I think she deep down knows that. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's sad.
All right, Steph, where are you at? You got another person for us?
Hi, my name's Lexi. Oh, that's loud. I have a question.
Over here.
It's a really silly question. Hi, I'm Lexi. And if your character was to watch Yellowjacket, like pre-crash, who do you think their favorite character would be?
That's a fun question.
Lottie would be Nat.
I think Ty would be Van.
I mean, kind of less applies to me, but what's funny is that in the past timeline, I, as Sarah, always, I don't know what this says about me, but I, as Sarah, always felt a kinship to Lottie in the past timeline, like before you got Simone. And so I think it also makes sense then that Callie would be drawn to Lottie, so Lottie would be Callie's favorite character.
I think Misty would still be obsessed with Natalie, even though I know I'm older Misty, but I think I'm still allowed to ask. I think I'm still allowed to answer this question. So I think her favorite would still be Natalie. All I was trying to say.
I think Shauna's would be, honestly, potentially Shauna. She's so obsessed with herself this season.
All right, good stuff. Steph, who you got for the next question?
Hi, I'm Jamie, and my question is, what is one important lesson that each of you learned through your characters?
Got us stumped. We need some thinking music.
I think that Misty's whole thing with her compulsion to be liked and want people to include her and all that stuff, I think like doing that as the character and watching her do that has made me really look at like what are my compulsions that no longer serve me. And yeah, I think that's one thing I've learned from the character.
I think mine is the importance of therapy. She's a great example of what happens when you don't have a good therapist.
I think for me, I've learned that it's good to relinquish control and to step back a little bit.
I think what I want to share would be, I think like Callie is obviously an example in our show of like nature versus nurture and like the effect of trauma and how it gets passed down. And I think a lesson I've learned, I don't know if it's so much a lesson, but it's almost like in a different way, but like a parallel journey of like also knowing that you don't necessarily have to take on like what your parents are passing down to you, and just like doing your best to like be authentic and be yourself, and like again, like Sophie said, like therapy is great. I love therapy, and yeah, like overcoming and rewriting your own story. And you know, Callie's kind of in the thick of that right now. She's figuring some stuff out. She's terrified, but we'll see where we end up.
I think for Lottie, what I've learned from Lottie is to not be your own enemy, and kind of to trust your own instincts and self, and like your brain isn't a separate thing that's working against you. That if you trust in yourself, everything will be okay.
That's awesome. Okay, so Steph, get us one more question. It doesn't mean we're not going to go to more questions in the audience, but one more question for now. Where are you at? Okay, over here.
I'm Evelyn, and you totally might not know the answer to this, but have you ever thought about having the band Hole, specifically the album, live through this in Yellowjackets, and specifically Yellowjackets season 4?
That would be sick.
It's just so funny to me because I was, you know, I was 19 and 20 when that album came out, and it's just really funny for these things to come back around, and like all like the songs of the show, and I'm like, this song? Seriously? So it's just like hilarious. But yes,
we can put it in with the music.
I do feel, yeah, I feel like Hole makes sense.
Good stuff. All right, so go ahead and put your hands down. I'm gonna ask a couple more questions. We'll see if we have time for some more audience questions, but okay. So this show basically is about a descent into madness for every character. Who do you think has been the most affected by the descent into madness, and who do you think has the best chance of the redemption from this madness?
Good question.
No redemption for Shauna.
Boo. It's hard to say who's gone into madness the most, because I think
all in their own way.
Yeah, everyone has reached another level of unwell. That
You're manipulative.
I don't think it's on purpose. Yeah, not in the younger timeline, I don't think.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like a Lottie stan.
Lottie apologist.
Lottie apologist.
I agree, but she's still cray-cray.
No, it's cray-cray.
But she doesn't think she's doing something bad. She really thinks she's doing
So
like
she can get
believes
redemption.
everything.
That's why
See, if
I don't get
anyone's
redemption.
manipulative, it's Shauna.
She's been through a lot. Have some empathy for her.
I mean, but your characters are so young as well. So like you're reacting to like such extreme stressors, and you know, I feel like as a teenager, so many things that you do are subconscious.
We forget
You
that
know?
children.
Yes. And like it takes a really long time to develop this kind of self-awareness to know that you're being manipulative. You know?
I think that Misty, you know, and I'm going to direct this to you, Christina. I feel like the people talk about, oh, this person's my ride or die. I think that Misty, like, I've got a special place for her, because I'm like, how many people are going to be like, oh, you accidentally killed somebody? I know how to dispose of their body with all these chemicals, and this is what we're going to do. Come on, let's come on over, and we're going to do this. I'm like, that to me, like, how fun was it as an actress to be like, this is what you're going to do today. You're going to be leading the team, leading the charge of chemically disposing of this body.
I've watched so much true crime that at this point, like me, Christina Ricci, I could totally dispose of your body for you. It's really not a problem. So it felt right. It felt right.
So obviously, none of you guys can talk about season 4. None of you guys are going to be asked about anything that would violate any kind of NDAs.
We don't know. We don't even shoot something. We get our scripts a week
Everyone probably thinks we're lying.
So like when we say we have no idea, we're not kidding.
Well, then that's actually great, because when I say, what do you hope might happen in season 4, it's just your personal actresses' opinions. What are things you guys might want to see actually happen in season 4?
I'm excited to see the rescue in whatever way that happens, whether it's Because I imagine that like some people won't want to go and they'll have to be taken by force, which
Ooh,
would
do
be...
you think there's going to be like a Jonestown Massacre type of thing right before they come
Maybe.
to get them?
Oh my God.
I would love
Like
that.
at the last minute, they'll be serving white nights.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, white nights was not a drink. That was a drink I made to watch Jonestown Massacre documentaries. But white nights were when he would put on the siren and everyone was supposed to come down to be poisoned.
I mean, I think
I'm so
this-
sorry. Excuse me.
I used to think that Coach Ben was gonna die. I used to think they were gonna see the rescuers coming and kill him at the last second because they were afraid he was gonna spill all the
That
tea.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but
I do feel like people are gonna die right before they get rescued.
yeah, someone that they think is gonna talk.
Yes.
They're gonna be like, they're gonna literally see rescue and kill them at the last second. Probably this crazy bitch.
Yeah, you're gonna kill them.
And she'll like it. That exact smile will be on your face.
Perhaps.
Okay, so let's go back to season 3, episode 3. There's been a lot of wild cinematic sequences in your show. In season 3, episode 3, this is when you're in the cave and you've got the poison gas and everything just becomes completely psychedelic insanity. What did you guys think when you saw that scene back of how absolutely just completely off the rails crazy that scene played out in film?
I remember reading the script and being like, how are we doing this? And then I remember watching it and seeing like the Big Ben laid out. Oh no, that's later on in the season. But I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, they did a really beautiful job.
Also, the director of that episode, it was his first time directing a TV show. Like, Jonathan Lisco. Yeah, it was his very first directorial debut, and he got handed that script, which is crazy.
Wow.
He did a really amazing job.
All right, so I've got one more question for you right now, and then we'll see if we can get to maybe 1 or 2 more audience questions. So, Steph, if you want to find 1 or 2, see if we can go to like the outside fringes, the people that never get any respect. Okay, so in your personal opinions, okay, there are some ridiculously unhinged moments. Think about murders and talking to dead bodies for months. There's a long list of things that could be. What do you think is the most unhinged and insane act that has happened in the show? It doesn't have to be your character, it can be any character. Craziest thing. Christina, you go first. What do you think is the craziest thing?
The only time I've ever gasped in reading any of the scripts is when Shauna bites. What's her name? Melissa's arm, and then makes her eat it.
Yeah.
Like that to me is just so gross. So gross.
That is more unhinged to you than literally destroying the only help we have to get out of the wilderness.
I didn't read that script.
That's so funny.
Sorry. Episode 2. It's your character.
What about putting a frozen ear in your pocket? That's pretty weird too. Maybe putting a frozen ear in your pocket? That's also
did
pretty...
that?
Again, this one!
I mean all the time. I feel very attacked.
Not even just Shauna, Sophie Nelisse. Sophie Nelisse took that ear home. So
This is true.
It's
I
in
need
her
to find a
pocket
box
right
for it.
now.
It's like hanging somewhere in my room, and I'm like, if out of context, that's
Why
a
is
bit
it
odd.
hanging?
Well, it's not like hanging. It's just like sitting on like my counter somewhere in my room, and I'm like,
That's a lot better than hanging, so.
yeah, but I want to get like a little metal, like a
Frame.
see-through box.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah, or frame it on my wall
Yeah, you should.
without any explanation.
Truly, though, the 2 that came to mind are what you guys just said. It was the only time I've also gasped is seeing her go eat it after. I was like, and then also I think Misty destroying the. Oh, Misty. We got a lot louder there.
All right, so Steph, where are you at? She's over here. Steph, who you got?
Hi, my name is Camila, and this question is for everybody, but do you guys think Shauna is justified in what all of the messed up stuff that she did because of what she went through? Or basically, are you guys not like Shauna defenders?
You know what I think? I've made myself clear.
I'm a Shauna defender.
You are?
Yeah.
Wait, you're adult Shauna defender or young Shauna defender?
I think both. I think both have had a hard time. You she needs, older Shauna needs a great therapist or to be put somewhere. I don't know why Lottie got sent to like the psych ward.
Not Shauna.
But I'm a Shauna defender.
Yeah, I would just say I have empathy for everyone. I'm not saying their behavior is necessarily justified, but it's all happening for a reason. They're like really going through it out there.
I can defend young Shauna, even though I pick on Sophie. That's just who we are. But I cannot defend adult Shauna. They all went through some
I kind
trauma,
of agree
bro.
with that though. Like I didn't have the means to get better. Like I didn't know what I was doing.
you're a child.
And I was just like under a lot of pressure, as we all were, but like I was just cracking and I had no help. Shauna, older, like she just needs to get her ass into therapy. Like that's her own
Like, at a
doing at this
certain
point.
point, you're choosing to sit in misery and
Agreed.
choosing to behave from a place of miserable. At a certain point in adulthood, it becomes a choice.
Yes, I agree. Going back to also like some of what I want to see in season 4 is, or honestly, I don't know if this is a hot take for our show, but where we end up, I think it'll be so interesting to like really witness more of the downfall of adult Shauna and what's gonna happen to her. And I know
I feel so anxious. Like, as a woman in her 40s with children and a family, watching this woman like destroy everything makes me feel so much panic and anxiety. I can't even tell you.
yes, and
I would love for her to get some therapy.
please, Callie would love that
Can you
also.
imagine season 4 suddenly Shauna's just in therapy and every scene she's just like talking about
becomes a
Sponsored by BetterHelp.
God no.
She's gotta go so that Jeff and Callie come home.
All right, so I think we have time for one more question out there. Where is Steph at? Okay, she's somewhere out there.
I'm here, don't worry.
All right, so Steph is somewhere back here. All right, she's in the back. All right, so what's your name? What's your question back there?
Hi, Angel. I have a question. So I feel like a lot of people online were pretty blindsided by almost like cartoonishly evil Shauna got in season 3. But I feel like she experienced a reality where all of her best friends and everyone around her killed and ate her baby. And so I want to know.
They didn't eat the baby.
Not for real. But you're right. She
In her
experienced
mind,
that
they
reality
did.
in her mind.
Right.
In her dream.
Do you guys think that contributes to her response in season 3 as she's grieving?
Yes.
Or do you think that like something else makes her also angry? Like, is she mad that no one else experienced that, or is that like stuck in her head every day?
I think it's a culmination of things of like Jackie
I
and
think
being
there's
in
a lot of
Jackie's
guilt
shadow
as well.
Yeah.
I think she feels really responsible for events of the past with Jackie dying and even the baby. I do think that she blames other people because ultimately she blames herself, I think. And so all of that pent up resentment and all of that pressure that's on her shoulders, she has no way of coping with it, so it gets projected onto other people. But I think ultimately she feels like she's the source of all the problems and she knows it.
Now I want to hug her.
Oh, now I feel really bad.
Now, thank you.
A little bit judgy, weren't we?
Just like Ty.
All right, so listen, I know that there was a ton of hands out there that obviously weren't able to get their questions asked because it's just not physically possible the amount of time we have. I know that every one of you guys is still going to be at your tables for the rest of the day, and you guys are all going to be here still tomorrow, correct? So please make sure that you go over to their tables, let them know how much you appreciate this show, let them know how much you appreciate them as actors and actresses, because that's who's here, not the characters from Yellowjackets. These 5 fine actresses are here, and they want to go and hear from you as human beings, correct?
We're not as scary in person. No.
Yes, they are. Okay, so you guys know what time it is, right? You guys may not. So there's a tradition at Scaradise that we're gonna take a picture with all of us facing up here. But first, we have to summon our show photographer because it's Scaradise. His name is Corey. So, ready on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Corey! All right, let's give a big round of applause for Sophie Nelisse, Courtney Eaton, Christina Ricci, Sarah. Oh my goodness, I completely just blanked. Holy crap, I'm so sorry about that. To the cast, to Jasmin, Oh my goodness, Jasmine, you can like smack me in the head for forgetting. I'm so sorry. I'm just so glad I'm up here with you guys. You guys are so awesome. All right, let's give a big, huge round of applause to the cast of Yellowjackets.